What's up, y'all? It's Poppin' It's D. About to react to this impressive vid. This is August Alsina exposes his boyfriend. What? When did this happen? Lotto has a ghostwriter. Sierra and Chris Brown were sabotaged. Okay, let's see what's happening with the tea this week. Let's watch.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Impressive channel. There are a few things I want to get into in this video, starting with August Alsina. Now, the R&B singer August Alsina revealed that he actually has a boyfriend on Surreal Life. Now, for some reason, I wasn't surprised by this in any way. Yeah, August was dealing with Jada Pinkett Smith, and it's been rumored that Jada likes sexually fluid men. That's just the rumors that are out there. Ooh. I can't confirm or deny it, but I suspected that maybe August was kind of fluid as well. But apparently he's not just fluid, he's actually bi. So he now seems to have a boyfriend. At least that's how it was announced on TV.
His little feelings.
And one thing about August is he's not afraid to live in his truth. He's not afraid to tell his truth. And that's something that has always been consistent with him. No matter how uncomfortable it has made other people feel, he has always been true to himself. So none of this is surprising to me. I do wish August and his new man all the best. Anyway, moving on to the next topic, I want to get into this whole drama with the rapper Lotto. But before I get into it, I first want to thank
Y'all go support. Ooh, this is a long ad.
So
get to the bag.
To the video. Now, somebody was being extra petty last night because they went into Lotto's files and leaked 130 of her songs. And a few of those songs included songs from other rappers. One of the songs was Whole Lot of Money, which ended up going to Bia. And another one of those songs was Blick Blick, which ended up going to Coi Leray. And it's interesting that Nicki Minaj was featured on both
bad
of
bitch
these
like
songs.
me keep on wishing,
and I
baby.
know Lotto wanted a collaboration with Nicki, but Nicki ended up being on the songs that Lotto passed up on. And I know that had to be a little frustrating for Lotto, which is probably why she was really pushing for Nicki to be on one of her own records, because she wanted to make up for that missed opportunity and she wanted to have her own moment. So I see why she was really pushing for Nicki to be on one of her songs. But that's besides the point. There's a bigger conversation happening, and it's the conversation about ghostwriters and reference tracks. When comparing Lotto's version of Whole Lot of Money and Blick Blick to Bia and Coi's version, you could obviously hear that they used the same hooks. Now the question is, who wrote those hooks? When Bia was asked about it, she said, no, London J wrote the hook. I wrote the pre and verse.
I feel like a lot of artists don't really write their hooks. Am I tripping? I feel like they write their verses. That's why they'll always emphasize, I write my verse. Like, I write my verses. I think Nicki has even said that multiple times. Like, I write my verses.
It's not rocket science. So Bia is letting people know that she wrote her verses, but London J wrote the hook. And apparently this is a common practice in hip-hop where you have writers who come in and write hooks on the songs.
Yeah.
However, the rappers who actually write their music come in and write their verses. But there are some instances where rappers don't even write. In fact, they have ghostwriters. That's very common as well. But this is not the case for everyone. There are rappers who push their pen. And Bia is one of those who really pushes her pen. We know Nicki pushes her pen. And Lotto pushes her pen as well. But Lotto does collaborate a lot with London J. And I do believe he has written a few of her songs. In fact, Big Energy sounds like a song that he wrote word for word, at least from the reference track that I heard. I don't think Lotto contributed much to that song. She may have added a short verse here and there, but I believe London J wrote most of that song. So Lotto is being put on blast for using a ghostwriter. Now, it's not fair to say that Lotto doesn't write at all. I do think she writes her music, but it's pretty obvious that she has a collaborator that she works with. But this situation as a whole is really a hot mess. I kind of feel bad for Lotto.
She didn't come out.
I do, because it's like, dang, she had 130 of her songs leaked. That's a lot of music. And yeah, she may have passed on some of those songs, but a lot of those songs she probably was going to use for future projects too. So that's a lot of work that was sabotaged. And I feel for her. I would feel for anybody in that situation. But looking on the bright side, maybe one of those leaks might take off on TikTok or something, and it might become a hit for her. Who knows? But that's a lot of her hard work down the drain. I mean, I would hate that to happen for anybody. Imagine working on all those songs and they all get leaked. Chow, that's a mess. Now, moving on to the last topic, I want to talk about this whole drama that happened with the American Music Awards over the weekend. Now, the AMAs canceled Chris Brown and Ciara's tribute to Michael Jackson. They were actually supposed to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Michael Jackson's album Thriller. Now, Thriller is the highest selling album of all time, and it's also the era where Michael Jackson pretty much revolutionized music videos, dancing, and just revolutionized the way music is. So Michael Jackson is the blueprint, and obviously Chris Brown and Ciara wanted to celebrate that. However, the AMAs had their performance cut at the last minute, and the Neighborhood Talk actually revealed that the owner of Pup Doc News, Matthew Baloney, was the one who had the performance canceled. Matthew claims that when he caught wind of Chris Brown's performance, he immediately contacted the higher-ups at Disney and ABC about the optics of the performance. He says that the prospect of a convicted domestic abuser celebrating an alleged child abuser on a Disney network wasn't the best idea. The higher-ups didn't even know about Chris Brown's performance until Matthew called and told them. The executives of the network didn't know about this, and they were furious, and they cut the performance completely. So this is actually what happened. The story is pretty crazy. I will admit it's pretty crazy. Now, it's unfortunate that Michael, even in his death, is still being haunted by those allegations, even though he was acquitted of the charges, and even though the FBI followed him for 10 years and found nothing on him, he's still being punished over those allegations. Whoa, so I didn't know that. It's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate to see such a great legacy be sullied in that way. Also, it's unfortunate that Chris Brown and Ciara didn't get a chance to perform together, because that would have been an amazing performance. Ciara and Chris Brown are some of the best dancers in music, so it would have been a big moment, and the show would have been very entertaining. However, I do kind of understand why the performance was canceled, even though I don't agree with them canceling it at the last minute. I think it's messed up to invite somebody to perform and put in all their hard work and effort into a performance only to shut it down at the last minute. Yeah, I think they would have to pay me messed up. However, I understand why that quick decision was made, because a lot of people have not forgotten what Chris Brown has done to Rihanna. A lot of people have not forgotten about his past behavior. You could tell by the tone of the audience. When Kelly Rowland announced that Chris Brown won Best R&B Male Singer, the audience was booing him. So that shows you that a lot of people still don't like Chris Brown, which is why he's still blackballed in a lot of mainstream spaces. And on top of that, a lot of people still find it unsettling to celebrate Michael because of those allegations. So in retrospect, it was a wise decision to cut the performance. However, they shouldn't have asked Chris Brown or Ciara to perform in the first place, because they wasted their time completely. Anyway, tell what you all think.
Yeah, I do think it's a bit messed up that, they seem to hold this over his head after a decade. I feel like other artists can make mistakes and they're forgiven and we move on like nothing ever happened. But when it comes to certain black celebrities, it's like, nah, we're going to hold this over your head until you die. And even after you die, we still going to hold it over your head, as they're doing with Michael Jackson. So I do think that's fucked up. But on the other end, let's not act like Chris Brown has been a saint since that situation has happened with Rihanna. Didn't Karrueche come out and say that, he was abusing her as well? So we're going to ignore that? Are we going to also ignore, his sketchy history with women over the past several years? There has been several women who have come out and made claims against Chris Brown. And, obviously there are some groupies who, try to drag these artists' name through the mud, lie on them, blah, blah, blah. But when it's multiple allegations, it's like, where there's smoke, there's fire. Something ain't right here. There's also been many people coming out and saying that he doesn't like dark-skinned women and he has like blatantly not allowed dark-skinned women in his parties and clubs and shit like that, and outright told them like, no, you too dark. So am I gonna sit here and advocate for Chris Brown? No, I am not. He does make some good music. I do appreciate that, but you know, if some of these higher ups don't like the way that he's moving, they don't like the way he's moving. I mean, ultimately, these artists are employees, all right? And what these higher ups say goes. So it is what it is. They didn't let him perform. They didn't let him perform. It's not the end of the fucking world. He's still gonna be rich, still be successful, still make good music, yada yada. He'll be all right. So I'm not that, you know, shooken up by this as other people are. I feel like this is like a big deal right now. People are talking about it a lot, but it's like, Chris Brown has been pretty problematic over the years, but okay. I guess we're going to ignore that for the sake of entertainment, whatever. As far as the situation with Lotto goes, I feel like this might have something to do with her run-in with Nicki Minaj. And not saying that Nicki contributed to this directly, but I don't think it was smart at all for her to go, you know, at Nicki Minaj in such a public manner the way that she did, and to expose private conversations and shit and disrespect her so blatantly. I don't think that was smart. Nicki has so many connects, and she's such a big figure in the industry that, you know, other people might have taken offense to that, and they might be, you know, on her head. So I don't think that that was smart for her career-wise at all. She could have handled that differently for sure. Obviously, Nicki played a part in that, and she could have handled it differently too. But if Lotto was smart, she would have played the game, and she wouldn't have, you know, addressed her so publicly. She could have just talked to her in private if she really was pressed about it or whatever the fuck. But to, you know, go at her in this Twitter war, that was not smart. And now look at you with these fucking 130 songs leaked. But, child, I'm not listening to not one of them because I do not like her music at all. It's terrible, in my personal opinion. But, yeah, girl, be smarter. Be smarter. Like, that's stupid. The industry is a game. It's about connects. It's about who you know. It's very political. So, you going at the biggest female rapper was stupid. That was stupid. So, if this negatively affects your career, then, you know, you reap what you sow. That's all I got on that. August, not surprised. His boyfriend is fine. Good for him. Y'all let me know what y'all thought, though. Let me know what other videos you're going to watch, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.